hope you can hear me. I don't know if anybody's even in here yet. I st- All right. Let me see if I can invite some people. I don't think the internet's that great here. Um, I had some difficulty. Live, and I'm new to this, so I'm just sort of getting used to shit. How do I get the chat up? Oh, there we go. What's up, Brandon? You're the first one to comment on the live. I see 8 people in here. It's my first time, so I have no idea what to expect. What up, Dennis? What's up? I bet you recognize the speech. It's a little livelier than yesterday. Not by much, but I'm just showing you guys around here. So, first time in Balneário. I think we'll. What's up, the storks too? I think we'll talk about Balneário today since I'm in Balneário. I was already in Floripa, but I'm gonna do a live before I leave Floripa so we can talk about that. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you want to ask me questions about Floripa too, but generally I'll try to like just talk about Balneário Camboriú. Um, Interesting place. I mean, it kind of reminds me in a weird thing. Yeah, weather's pretty good. I didn't catch the full chat on there. How do I go back to the chat? Okay, I see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's heading into winter here, and it's actually the sun is really strong. I think that never really stops. It's just in the evening time it gets kind of chilly, even for a Canadian in Brazil. But yeah, Cambodia. It reminds me of a lot of like Toronto, but bigger and I would say better, obviously, because it's Brazil. But it is definitely it's got that vibe, but it's got more things to do, I think, than Toronto. You just got to kind of look for it. Um, if any of you guys have been to Cambodia, let me know if you like it here or if you don't in the comments. Um, yeah, I've done all the touristy things. I'm only here. I got here on Saturday morning, so yesterday morning, and then I'm leaving tomorrow morning. So it's not that much time to do as many things as possible. And I'm squinting here. Let me see if I can wear the sunglasses and still see everything. Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, I mean, it's got some really cool tourist attractions. I mean, I just did the damn zip line. The sad thing is, I wasn't able to film it. They didn't let me go on with the camera. They said, "Oh, the camera could fly and hit somebody." I said, "Well, what if I had a thing that would stick on my chest or something?" Nah, I was bummed out about that, but it's hella worth it, man. Like, definitely check it out. I went to one mall, Dennis. I was there yesterday. I had to buy these headphones because I didn't have one compatible for my iPhone. It doesn't have the old jack. It's just by US. It's just by regular, you know, where you charge the phone. The same input. So I went to I think it was Balneário shopping. It's it's a mall. What can I say, man? I mean, it's still they're different than North America, but I mean, it's still a mall. I don't like going to the malls. It's good if you want to like check out chicks or whatever. I mean, because they're all generally there, especially if the weather's crappy. and it's on a weekend. But it's clean, it's safe. The city I'm talking about, the mall is just whatever. But the city I find is really safe, like really really safe in my opinion. I don't know how it is in summertime here when it really like it gets packed, when it gets jam packed. A lot of tourists, especially like parts of Brazil and where else. A lot of Hispanic speaking people, like Spanish speaking people here, Latinos. Um, what's up, Black Circle? How you doing? Um, yeah, no, this is actually someone told me this is the largest community of Argentinians outside of Argentina. They live in Balneário Camboriú. Very interesting. I met a couple of them in the service industry, and then a couple in yeah, DJP's in the house too. I met a couple of Venezuelans as well. A lot of them got the hell out of Venezuela to live here. They chose this place. I mean, there's a lot of jobs here. Especially, I mean, you could probably make decent money here in the summertime if you're in the service industry. Tips are a little different in Brazil. Chicago Mike, what's up? Two guys repping Chicago in the chat. Yeah, Charles James, you can join in. I don't like how the chats disappear. Okay. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't. I guess you would know. I'm gonna. I wanted to check out another beach. I went to Praia de Laranjeiras, which was smaller and it's pretty chill. A lot of younger people there. I think Black Circle. I think the economy is very crap in Argentina, but there just seems to be. I think over the years they came here. I don't know if it has anything to do with the economy. Balneario seems to be about the same price for grocery products like groceries, food. About the same, man. I mean, I don't know about summertime, but it's low season, so maybe the prices drop. Uh, question from the stork too. If a non-Brazilian spends 6 months in Brazil and travel out to not break the local laws, can they come back to the country after 22 days out, or they must remain 6 months out? That I don't know. If anybody knows that answer, I would guess they can't come in if they break the law here. I think you wouldn't be. What up, man? You're in the house. You're in the chat.
What up? What's good,
How you
Nick?
doing? All good,
I'm
man.
good.
Balneário. Check it out.
Boa tarde. Yeah, I heard that's the Dubai of Brazil.
I've heard Abu Dhabi or Dubai. Maybe people just don't know. Maybe they're similar cities. I've never been to them, but yeah, it's got that. It's got the look for sure. I don't know about the vibe because I've never been there, but yeah. If
That's
anybody
cool.
ever, yeah, go ahead. Man. I was just gonna say if anybody wants to join in after you, I can put the link if they want. But yeah, go ahead, man.
No, let me jump off real quick. So I'm still at work.
Oh, no worries, man. Good to see you.
All right, peace.
Any questions about any other questions about Balneario? It's worth. I would say for me, shit, the water just exploded here. I would say, I don't know. I think a lot of guys come here and spend a week. I think personally, for me, I could only do at this time of year. I could do the top 5 days. You know, and we're having internet problems. I guess the internet problems aren't only restricted to to Rio. Yeah, DJP. There are a lot of people from Uruguay too, because it's so close. Close by. Uh, I would say Balneario. I would say Balneario is for both, but it really depends on the time of year. I think you're gonna get a mixture. That's why they have so many beaches here you can choose from. Um, from what I understand, from what I've seen so far, and this is my second full day. A lot of families here, or couples, I should say, couples and families. Brandon, what's going on? Is the water there in beach dirtier than dirtier than Copa, it's worse. Today it's bad. I mean, I don't think you can see it from here. Let me see if I can. It's a little too far, but it's nasty. And actually, the difference between here and Copa is they actually put signs up telling you that whether the water's clean enough to go in. So I think it's probably dirtier here because it's so massive. And I mean, I think it's probably twice as big as Copa if I had to guess. It is definitely bigger than Copa. The walking, the distance, the whole distance. Let's see. Do you think Floripa is the best place in Brazil? It's not. I wouldn't say it's the best place. I would say it's one of the safest places that I've ever been to in Brazil. Um, like I walked at night, maybe 10, 11 p.m. by myself downtown, and I did a little video. I did a short talking about it. I don't think I posted it yet, but I'm going to. And no issues. Like there's still some homeless people. You're never gonna get rid of that or avoid that, but it's damn safe. Like Floripa here, even here, it's really safe. I would say I don't feel at all unsafe. You know, I can use my phone out. You don't have to worry. Let's see here, more messages. Thanks for joining in on the chat, guys. I appreciate it. First time. Yeah, gonna see a lot of Argentinians. Floripa or Balneário? Which one is best to go to? I don't speak any Portuguese. Again, it depends on what you like. Here, there's way more options for like at night. There's things open. Even in the low season right now. Like I'm gonna have a video posted. I'll edit it. I did like a vlog walking at nighttime. Like I did a daytime, then I did nighttime. So I did partially at nighttime, and I showed like how busy it can get on a Saturday night here during low season. And certain parts there's quite a few people out, man. So I would say here has more nightlife down in the main promenade area. I would say definitely. Worse water than Flamengo? Ooh, yes. I don't. I mean, probably equal today because they have signs saying you not to go in. Maybe Flamengo is just permanently dirty because I hardly ever see anybody go in that water unless they're just crazy. If you don't speak Portuguese, don't go to either. Well, you can still go, but you're gonna have a little bit of difficulty trying to communicate. I wouldn't say don't go, but it's good to have Portuguese. Then you get your game will be better if you're looking to meet a girl or whatever. But also just basic communications, ordering stuff. It's a pain in the ass when you have to use a translator and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say don't come if you don't speak Portuguese, but it definitely does help. And I beat a dead horse on that one about learning Portuguese. Uh, yeah, DJP is right. Or a local will help you if you're really going to struggle with the language. Santa Catarina is worth checking out, Charles, for sure. Especially if you like beaches. Like I'll talk about it more tomorrow in the chat, but they've got a ton of beaches, man. Like 33 plus beaches. It's crazy. Yeah, Racklet. A lot of legends in the house. I wouldn't call myself a legend, but I know a lot about Brazil, so I can call myself somewhat of an expert. Not of every place, but the country and traveling and shit. Santa Catarina is the best area in Latin America. It's definitely up there. Yeah, Chicago, Mike. Google Translate. I mean, don't get discouraged if you don't speak Portuguese. If you're a traveler and you still want to check out the place, just go. I mean, I just always tell people it's better to learn some Portuguese. I mean, you won't have any issues. It makes things better. Black Circle. Hopefully, it's nothing like that beach in Niterói with all the trash coming in. Oh God, yeah. Nah, it's not that bad, but it's still. I think it's the sewage. It's not trash. It's sewage in this case, which is sad. New wave Brazil. Is it fair to say Rio is lagging behind in modern development? Uh, well, it's an older city to start. This is a newer city. This city, I think, was founded in 18. Ooh, my history. I read it the other day. 18 something, 1850, 1860. Rio is like 400 to 500 years old. I don't know if that has a lot to do with it. It has something to do with it because it's harder to change the infrastructure, but that might have something to do with it. They're still lagging on a lot of things like security and the the service. Sometimes the service is not so great, but it's definitely Rio is lagging on a lot of things, especially compared to here. You'll like here if you like. I've never been to Miami, but a lot of guys compare it to Miami. You get a lot of the sports cars passing through and shit. Not so much these days. I saw maybe two since my whole trip so far. Yeah, yeah, DJP. I'm just, I just say it like it is. Like even my vlogs are just, I tell it like it is. I don't hold back. The stork too. I'm in Balneário Camboriú, which I read the meaning of. It's kind of like comes from the river or something, or comes into the river. I've heard two theories of where the name comes from. Because this city was originally a Tupi, the indigenous village or resident or area where they lived way back when. All right, I'm gonna add the man of the hour, DJP, into the chat. If I miss some of your questions, I'll get back to it. I'm sorry.
What up,
What's up,
Holmes?
DJ? What's going on, man?
How you doing?
I feel we did this before, except it was reversed.
Right.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's. You said I would enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I am enjoying it for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool city, man. It's a
Yeah.
cool city.
I mean, it's
cool.
different from Rio, like whereas, and I don't mean the security issue. I just mean it's more uppity. That's what I would say. It's kind of like an enlarged. I compare it to an enlarged Copa without all the fucking problems. Like I would say, in my opinion.
I've heard it. It's like it's a smaller, cleaner, safer version of Rio.
Yeah, for sure. I would say so. Do you have anything? Did you came here for a week, right? I think you spent a week
I was
here.
there for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there
what would you say is the good amount of time to see everything or whatever you did?
7 days, 10 days.
Yeah.
7 to 10 days. That should be enough.
I feel 7 to 10 days in the summer. I don't know about in this time of year. It's still pretty good in winter, what they call winter, but there's not a lot of movement, and I mean all the touristy stuff is still running. So I don't know. I mean, it's not very lively at night. It was okay, but it wasn't like jumping.
Yeah, it's cool. Like that beach. I thought that beach out there where you're sitting right now, it's too wide.
Well, they did that
wide
on
as fuck.
purpose. Yeah, they did that on purpose. It's a half artificial beach because a lot of these buildings, much like in Copa, block out the fucking sun after they were like everyone was complaining by like 4 p.m., 3 or 4 p.m. So they extended. Like I'll just flip here. The beach would probably only where this where this little, I don't know if you can really tell by the camera, but on this area that they extended maybe a little more than half. Actually, probably more than half of this is artificially augmented.
Okay.
So it's not even really. It wasn't really like this, just so that they would extend the sun, because these massive buildings, and in each area it's a little bit different, right? Because you got bigger buildings in one part and then taller buildings, I should say, in one part. So, but they just decided to augment it completely, and it cost like millions and millions of dollars. Man, it wasn't cheap. I was reading about it last night. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah, because we experienced that on Copa and Ipanema. Like when the sun starts to go down, the buildings block the sun out.
Yeah, it sucks.
At like 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun gets blocked.
I mean, it's bad if you come to Brazil or Rio in the summer, like in December, January, because it sunsets a little bit later, which I can get into a whole different thing about that, which annoys me. But then you don't get as much sun. I mean, here it's the same. It's even worse because Well, if they didn't extend it, I think you would get even less done. It would be over by like 2:30, 3 p.m. probably.
Yeah, that sucks. Nobody wants that shit.
No, no.
Did you do
Yeah,
the cable car?
I did the cable car. I just got back. Maybe I did about an hour ago, hour and a half ago, and I did the zip line, which was amazing, man.
And they wouldn't let you film it.
Nah, I even said, what if I tie it to my hand? It's not gonna fly. Like I have the little camera, even little camera than a GoPro and lighter. And I pleaded, man, and it's like, nah, we can't. Otherwise, we'll get in shit for for letting somebody. So whatever.
That
It was a
sucks.
cool experience, man. I would say it's better than the cable. I mean, they're different, right? The cable car lasts longer, and you can see the views, and the zip line's kind of like over before you blink, really. But it's cool.
Did you see the pirate ship?
I did, and I actually inquired. So I did, as I was doing my vlog, I'll post it, but I basically said that it's like a trip. They take you around, and it's like an hour and a half. And I didn't really want to be on a boat for an hour and a half, so
Right.
because I had the live to do, and then the sun would be going. So I'm like, I'll leave it for the next time, whatever. But it would be cool. It would be cool to do. It would definitely be cool to do. Yeah. Man.
Did you make it up north to Itajaí?
Yeah, it was dead.
It was dead. Oh damn.
Yeah, I think that spot, because I was reading some comments, and I didn't even really film there because there wasn't really anybody to film there. And yesterday the weather was it wasn't as hot as today, but it wouldn't have been worth doing any filming there. But I chilled there for a little bit or whatever. But I think summertime it's generally when it's jumping.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think people are asking questions to you. Maybe got to catch up here. I forget. You guys can read the messages too, right? In the chat. Yeah, it's my first live, so bear with me. Okay. I can't imagine someone doing a live like 200, 300 people, man. Yeah, go ahead, man. If any guys have questions.
Yeah, usually with lives with that many people, people the host just talks. They don't really answer too many questions, or they just answer super chats. That's it.
Okay. I'm gonna learn a little bit more how to do that, but I'm not gonna charge anybody today. I don't expect money from people or any of that stuff. Anybody contributes, we're always grateful and all that stuff. But I will mention one thing that's not related to Floripa. We'll have a live. I don't know if you'll join tomorrow, but I'll do a live either tomorrow or Wednesday, Tuesday. Tomorrow's Monday in Floripa. But the population is mostly white there, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I couldn't believe, when I got there, but it's like 80+% are white.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like fucking true. Wonder Bread Brazil.
Hey, there's a town between Balneário and Floripa. It's called Porto Velho. And it's the same thing. It's like there's no melanin out there at all.
It's amazing. Like I'm gonna see more as I go more south because in next week I'm gonna be going to Porto Alegre. So apparently it's even more white. I mean, I don't know how it can, but that's what I've heard because of like a lot of German and Italian or whatever influence, right? Immigrants. Let's see. Someone asked me, Chicago Mike, do you take the bus to travel, Nick? I like in the cities and whatever. I prefer Uber, especially if I don't know the city. I prefer Uber. It's just it's just easier. It's a little bit safer. You don't have to deal with the waiting. Buses I would take if it's like I'm curious to take a bus to Parachi when I go back to Rio. I'm gonna do a trip there. Oh, we have a contribution. Thank you very much, Frakvet Club, I guess, because with a V. Keep making that content. Please make a video on the visa process after October 1st. Oh, I thought I had a visa. Oh, visa like a residency or visa like to extend your visa? I thought I had a
tourist visa.
Oh, okay. I thought I had one, but I could update it because it's going to change. Yeah, about the buses, I don't like unless I'm really stuck. I'll give you an example. So when I was in Floripa, I went to this colonial town called Santo Antonio de Lisboa. I don't know if you went there, Dennis. I did a vlog there, so you guys can see more about it when I post the video. But I took an Uber there just to spend about 5-6 hours, and they say the sunset is incredible there. So I stayed until the sunset, and getting an Uber back was a pain in the ass. So because it was about 40 minutes outside of Floripa, more or less. So there's that problem too, right? When you're living or when you're staying a little bit distance and you want to check something out, and then you have difficulty finding an Uber. So I don't know. In that case, I would just take a bus if I had no choice, like to get back into the city. That's when I would likely take a bus. So, but Uber all the way, like 98% of the time, I would say, inside the cities for sure. How about you, Dennis? You're an Uber guy, I guess?
Yeah, I do Ubers because it's so cheap. It's so cheap, and
it's cheap. Yeah. I mean,
but some places,
I don't really hear. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. Some places you go to, it's hard to get an Uber. You can get an Uber out to where you're going, but it's hard to get an Uber back, like what you just said.
Yeah. Because yeah. I waited almost an hour to get that one. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but Uber doesn't have the range in a lot of places.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Anybody have any questions about Balneário? I didn't see if. Let me check here. Or for Dennis about his experience. Oh, okay. Let me see how much for the pirate trip. I didn't ask because I didn't do it, but the cable ride up, it was about, I think it was like 60 reais. So at like less than $20, $18, I don't know, US. And then the zip line was, I think it was 58 or 68. I think it was 68. Don't quote me on it, but it was like a little bit more expensive than the cable ride. Where is it? Let's see. Wish I had the remote plug. It was a good start. I'm trying to hold on. There's a lot of messages here. How do you travel from Florianópolis to Balneário? This is a good question. I took Uber. I think Dennis did too. Cost me 125 reais, about an hour ride. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be in Rio in August. Oh, somebody got a. Oh, there we go.
Somebody said, explain the quote, nothing brings clarity to your life than a trip to Brazil.
You want to start with that, Dennis? I'll let you.
Yeah, because it's like when you go to Brazil and you're like, damn, I want to live here. So immediately your mind goes into overdrive, thinking of ways to get back and also to possibly live there. So when you get back home, you're on a mission. You map out your plan.
Yeah, at all costs almost.
At all costs. You want to lose weight. You want to get your money right. You want to do everything.
Yep. So, and I would say, yeah, for me, it was the exact same thing. Like the first time I came, I went to Rio the first time, but I mean, I wanted to travel other parts, but Rio was the place, back in the day. It is still a place to be, but that was my main destination. And I was like, how do I get back here? I didn't really give a shit about anything else that was going on back home. I was just like, go to my 9 to 5, put money away, start finding other ways to make money. And it's really not. The other thing is, people think it's easy to get here and stay here, and you got to get everything right. You got to get everything. You just got to get the money right. You got to get the documents right. You want to make sure you have all your, dot all your I's and cross all your T's, right? Got to get all that done before you can make the move. It's really not that easy. I mean, we make it look easy because we're sitting on the beach, we're chilling and whatever. I enjoy making the content for people. That's another thing why I started doing YouTube, because I figured I traveled here so many times. I'm going to try and show people what it's like, how to realize the same dream, maybe, if it is a dream. And that's what it is, man. I mean, it's just the life here for me, it's better, even in Rio. Even though it's got so many problems and shit, it's still better,
Rio is the shit. It's just that you get burnt out. We talked about this yesterday. How do people get burnt out? How do you get burnt out in Rio? Like most people go there just for vacation. They come for a week or two. But if you're there for an extended period of time, you can't party all the time. You can't.
No, man. Especially, I find it's even worse when you're a content creator, because you're doing you want to get good content, but you also want to sort of like relax, do your thing, and it's so many. You're juggling a lot of things at once. I'm not complaining, but you can't if you want to avoid getting burned out, you've got to also find a time to just like do nothing at certain points of the day or the week. You can't just go go go. Like I told you, we talked a little earlier just on the WhatsApp, and I was saying I felt a little bit exhausted because I'm just like, wake up, go have breakfast, do this, shooting content. Try to also not live the trip through YouTube as well, right? You want to have that for yourself. You want to have something for yourself, but where I mean like absorbing the trip, where you're not just with a camera all the time, which is fine, but that's just my perspective. Chicago Mike. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. No, I mean to travel to different cities. Different cities. Oh yeah, I would say I would like to do. Well, Parachi is a different city outside of Rio, so a bus. There's no other way to get there except for like a coach bus. Driving is tough. Oh, I didn't see someone contributed here. Sal's Life, $10. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yo, we got the 2 Brazil veterans. Drink one on me, Nick. I'll drink a water because I've actually quit drinking. Going back to the burnout, if you drink too much, it will help the process of being burned out. Let's just put that out there. But I appreciate the contribution, man. Yeah, Chicago Mike says most Brazilians want to leave. Well, it's the opposite side of the coin, right? The grass is always greener on the other side. I guess that's how. I don't know. In their case, they think that it's better in North America when we have a different perspective. Maybe you can weigh in on that, Dennis.
Well, like I said, I mean, a lot of Brazilians think that in North America the streets are paved with gold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And also they don't realize the cultural difference too, because a lot of Brazilians come to America and they want to come back because of the culture difference. They're not as American society in general is not as open and friendly as Brazilian society tends to be.
That's true.
So they can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So
that on top of depending on where you live in North America, like if you live in a place like where I'm from, you freeze your ass off half the year too. So there's that. Yeah. And it's just they feel a little. I've spoken to a lot of Brazilians in Toronto, and it's tough for them because they feel isolated, and then they don't understand why Canadians are bad at it too. Sometimes we're friendly people, but we're very tough to break the ice. Same as Americans. We're the circle of friends. I guess that's what I would say. So they don't understand why aren't people like automatically, hey, yeah, come with us, we'll show you around. Here it's much like that. They don't have that in North America, sadly. No. There's still people that are like that, but it's just not like here, especially in Rio or places where it's hot all the time, The warmer it is, the friendlier the people.
It's miserable.
Yeah.
It's miserable. I mean, especially in the winter, and that's why I get the fuck out of there.
Yep, that's me, and that's you, because Chicago and Toronto, they're no better when it comes to the weather, man. Someone's got a question for you, DJ B. Are you ever going to settle down with a there anytime soon, bro?
Well, I get asked that a lot. That's not something that you can rush, man. The conditions have to be right. It's got to be the right woman. It's got to be the right circumstance. So I get asked that question at least once a month. But it's not something that you.
No, and it's also really difficult. And I would say it's also very difficult considering like there's so much choice here. And I don't mean to sound like bad when I'm talking like that, but it's just, I always say you have the rodizio of women here, like, it's just, you can't just settle down. And then what if the person, you have to really get to know the person. You have to have the attraction. They have to have their shit together, which unfortunately in Rio, a lot of women don't have their shit together. There are some, but it's very far and few between. If you're going to settle down in Rio specifically, big helicopter passing by. So it's really not easy. I mean, even I would say dating here, like we've talked about this before, is easier and better, but settling down is still, it's no exact science, I would say.
And a lot of women got kids. There's a lot of single mothers in Brazil.
Yeah, if you're okay with single mothers, you'll do very well here. Your options are like the sky's the limit. But if you're like me, I can't date someone who has nothing against kids, but it just complicates a situation where the traveling and then you have to deal with the ex, or there's a lot of different issues with that.
And then at some point, the kid is gonna play the "You're not my daddy" card. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm
And that's
saying?
universal. That ain't just in Brazil. That's like U.S., Canada, everywhere,
Right.
man.
Is that something you want
That's
to deal
human
with?
nature. Nah. Chicago Mike says Barra de Tijuca is like Miami. You can chill there, but tourists don't go there.
It's like South Beach.
Yeah. I would say it's a lot of rich Brazilians mainly in Barra de Tijuca. Same as here. I would say Balneário, a lot of rich people, man. Like I mentioned in one of my vlogs, for example, there's let's see if I can show you those twin towers in the distance. I don't know if you can see them on the left.
Yeah.
Neymar, the soccer player, owns a penthouse on top of one of those buildings.
Wow.
Yeah. So guys are, rich, wealthy people around Brazil buy property here, and I had 4 people tell me about that, by the way. Neymar has a penthouse on top of that building. Like, you don't say. I already heard it like 2-3 times. I really don't care, but that's cool, That's hilarious, man. Yes, Brazilians in Chicago don't like it, weather, etc. I didn't know there's a lot of Brazilians in Chicago, to be honest.
There's not a Brazilian community, like a dedicated community, but they're all spread out.
Okay.
They're all spread out.
Yeah, in Toronto, they tend to flock to the Portuguese community because they speak the same language.
Right.
Nick, have you ever visited Minas Gerais? No, but I'm going to. I plan to this year, and I'm not decided if I'm going to take a bus. I forget if it's like 6 to 8 hours. I don't know if I feel like a 6-hour bus ride, but it is possible leaving downtown Rio heading there. So it depends. If the flights are overly priced, I might take the bus. Let's see how much time I have. But definitely, I want to go to Minas. I want to check out Belo Horizonte. I want to check out Ouro Preto. And I forget one other place that I wanted to check out. Charles Jones says Neymar is swimming in that oil money. Yeah, the oil money he gets, and his endorsement money. Not just the oil money, the endorsement money. Brandon Squabuena says, and DJ, and both of us, Dennis, what are y'all top 3 places so far in Brazil? That's tough. I know Dennis is some of his, but he can go first.
Rio's number 1. Rio's the heavyweight champ, man. I like Manaus. I like Manaus, and I like Natal was cool. Every city got something different to offer. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem, right? It's a good thing and it's a problem because you can't really. Rio is going to be number 1 for me, with the obvious. It just always has it has everything you need and everything you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hub, so if you want to go out to other places in Brazil, you just grab a plane or a bus or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
for me, and the people, I can't leave that out. I know there's a lot of problems there, as we know, but it's my first love in Brazil that I ever went to. So second, it's a tough one. I would put up a toss-up between Manaus and, because it really depends on what you're going for. Because I go to those places sometimes for nature and activities. Manaus has quite a lot of nature, like the most nature probably in all of Brazil because the Amazon. But I would also say Foz do Iguaçu Falls is a close, tied almost with Manaus so far. And I would say third, probably a tie between Floripa and this place, because I haven't really traveled to as many places as you have, Dennis. So maybe that list will change. São Paulo comes in after because it's just really a metropolitan city and it's fun, but it's a few day thing. It's not a long time stay,
Right.
The other guys are here. South Life asks if I'm a naturalized Brazilian. I'm not a naturalized Brazilian, but I do have residency. In a few years, I could probably apply for citizenship. It really depends on if I can have 3 passports or have 3 citizenships, because I already have 2. So I have Canadian and Portuguese. Charles Jones. They're spread out in Chicago. Okay, the Brazilian sounds like Dallas, Fort Worth metroplex, but they're settled in certain towns for the sense of community. Yeah, that makes sense.
They have a
Big Mike. Oh, go ahead.
They have a Brazil Fest in Chicago, like once every summer, like in July.
I saw your video. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I might not be. I won't be able to go this year because I'm gonna be traveling, but it's cool. I didn't know there was that many damn Brazilians in Chicago.
Yeah, I guess they're everywhere, man. Like same with the Portuguese community. They like Big Mike says they got a large Brazilian community in Boston. They also have a large Portuguese community. I have family in Boston from my dad's side, because half the family immigrated from Portugal to Canada and the rest went to the States. So it's interesting. Charles Jones says, I've heard good things about João Pessoa, also hearing some things about Porto Alegre that rekindled my interest. I haven't been to João Pessoa, but it's definitely on my list. I'll be going to Porto Alegre next week. Next week. Dennis, you haven't been to João Pessoa, right? Or have you?
I'm going there next year.
Okay.
I'm gonna go there next year. Check that out.
Okay. That's cool. You told me what did someone tell you that Porto Alegre is like? I have to get that on the live, Dennis.
I got a friend that lives in Rio, and I asked her, how is Porto Alegre? She said boring.
That's hilarious, man. If you could sum up Porto Alegre in one word, boring. That's boring. I guess chato, right? Chata would be the word in Portuguese. Well, to be determined for me. I'll be the decider on that. I mean, I like cultural stuff, so it might not be so boring for me. But I like to go through. I'll check the nightlife stuff too, and I'm hearing it's dangerous. To be honest, everyone that I've told
is dangerous.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that I've said, because I've sort of talked with Uber drivers and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, Porto Alegre's become dangerous. You got to be careful." So, I mean, I said, "Well, I live in Rio, so it's not gonna really. It can't be more different than Rio. It can't be more dangerous than Rio,
man. Come on now.
No, man. So for me, whatever.
The mean streets of Porto Alegre.
yeah. And I'm staying in the downtown where it's easy accessible, right? That's one thing I will say. It's better, because you and I talked about this. It's better to try and get a place centralized in the city where you can just go wherever you have to go. Floripa, I stayed in the center, but I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But it is good to stay in the center. Brendan asks, is there a Brazilian consul in Chicago? That you guys could answer that. The Chicago guys in here.
Yeah, it's downtown Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm gonna have to try and learn more about the live, but it's all good. How to run this stuff. Big Mike, Chile is my main spot, but I'm considering Brazil. I traveled to Chile from November to April month when it's winter in the States. Yeah, that's a good idea. You have a question, DJ?
What's
up? Do you have the info for Brazil Fest? I've been wanting to go, Charles Jones asked, to get to Chicago.
Yeah.
So that would be a good look.
I'm looking for it right now. I'm looking for it.
Okay, so you saw the comment. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it, Charles. I'll send it to you when I get it.
Okay, cool. Chicago Mike says Porto Alegre used to be very, very unsafe. Yeah, I mean, so that's maybe not as safe as Rio, but horrible crime. Yeah, I hear a lot of pickpocketing, and in kind of other neighborhoods surrounding the city, there's a lot of, like, they call it assalto, which is mugging. So let's see. Porto Alegre is very crime ridden. Chicago Mike says, yeah. Well, so is Rio. I'm not scared about traveling throughout Brazil. I'm living in Rio. I've been in Rio many years. Fear does not get to me, man. Like, I'm very cautious, especially when I go out content creating and stuff. And you can attest to this too, Dennis. I'm sure you always have, your eyes wide open. You have to.
Yeah, my head's on a swivel.
Yeah.
In Rio, my head's on a swivel.
And that's another reason which burns you out. You know, that's another way to get burned out.
You got you land on the beach, you got one eye open, man.
Yeah, I mean, you've done lives on the beaches like in Copa. I haven't. So there, you're probably kind of like looking like I'm right now. You have to do that. Here, you don't have to do that.
You gotta be strategic where you sit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'll one day do a live there, but not for a while. But you have to keep your head on a swivel, man.
Don't do it on the weekend.
No. I'll do it on a weekday, like middle of the day or some shit like that.
Yeah, fuck that.
Any other questions or about Balneário? Anybody? Been in about 45 minutes. My goal is to do about an hour, and then I'm gonna go. Oh, where? DJP, do you plan on hitting other cities in Brazil next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I plan on hitting Vitória, João Pessoa, and São Luís. I heard they got a big reggae scene up there. I want to go check that out.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna try and meet you in one of those cities, man. At some point, I'll try coordinate.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I want to go up to the north part of the country as well.
Yeah, it's São Luís.
Because I know you're going to Portugal at some point. Brendan says, "Yeah, facts, DJP." Whereas the Charles Jones can't front. I did hear that about Porto Alegre, but I can't really believe it. But I'll take it at face value because I'm not a native there, so I respect the claim. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people. I find that people here, specifically in Floripa, people were commenting about Porto Alegre when I told them I was going there. A lot of them have never even been there, and they say it's dangerous because they watch the news, and then it's like they get their whole reference point based on the news without actually going to a place. It's kind of annoying. I mean, I get it. I don't really watch the news here, but you know, if I have the same mentality, I would never have went to Rio.
A lot of Brazilians are afraid of Rio in other parts of the country.
Yes. Yep. They won't go. Oh, Rio. When I told them I live in Rio, because they would, people chat and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, Rio, it's so bad there. It's so dangerous." I'm like, yeah. Okay. Big Mike says, you two are Brazilian veterans. I always pay attention to your comments. Thank you very much. Racket Club. Charles Jones, when are you? Okay, that's for you, Charles Jones. Chicago Mike says Victoria is beautifully highly ranked. Yeah, I heard that. Big Mike.
I'm gonna do a Charles Jones impression. I'm gonna do a Charles Jones impression with the deadpan humor.
Yeah.
Don't come to Brazil. It sucks here.
Yeah, you guys should check our live that Dennis had like not that long ago. It was hilarious, man. I don't know Charles well, so I was like, is he being serious and then I realized it's his personality. So
all you need is Duolingo. Yeah. All you need is Duolingo to become fluent. Duolingo is it.
Man. Start a YouTube channel, Charles, because I wanna come into your live sometime. Okay. Big Mike asks, best areas to stay in Rio for first timer. South Zone, Zona Sul, Copacabana #1. If it's your first time, I bet Dennis can attest to that. Ipanema if you can afford it. Leblon if you can afford it. Baja, it's a little out of the ways, but it's still worth checking out. But yeah, Copacabana #1 for if it's your first time. It's got everything you need, right?
Yeah, every new traveler should go to Copa or Ipanema.
Yeah. It's intense. Like if you come in the wintertime or summertime there in Brazil, like in December, January, February, and early March, it can be intense, man, because you got Carnival going on, you got all kinds of stuff going on, man. Brace yourself if you come in the summer there.
Leblon is a little snooty.
Yeah, it's more expensive too. It doesn't have as many options. It's got a decent nightlife, I would say. It's a little more calm, but yeah, a lot of rich and pretty white. It's much like Floripa, except they got a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. But check it out, Nick. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hop off, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. Anybody else want to enter the chat before I enter the live or end the live? I'm gonna end it in about 10 minutes or so.
Cool.
Any questions about Balneario? Good to see you, Dennis, man. Thanks
All
for
right.
hopping on.
Peace out.
We'll chop it up the next time. Peace out.
For sure.
Black Circle says Charles who? I hope he starts a channel. I hope Charles starts a channel because then we can go into his lives and get the sarcasm and humor on it. I did sign up for live stream capability, so we'll see what's good. Okay. Bracket Club says LeBlanc might be too rich for my blood. Yeah, I mean, it's pricey. I would say Balneario is still cheaper than LeBlanc and even cheaper. I mean, it depends on the time of year. Summertime here is probably going to be as expensive as Rio, like South Zone. Another thing I would notice as well is that in Balneario, for like food and breakfast and whatever, all kinds of, there's options. Even though it's slow season here, there's still going to be options. Little noisy. Thanks, Chicago Mike. I hope you get to Brazil sometime. Don't let the fear get to you. If you want to explore, if you want to get to know Brazil and not worry about the safety, I would go directly to Floripa or the state of Santa Catarina. If you're worried about the security, you'll still get to experience the Brazilian culture in Santa Catarina, specifically Floripa and the surrounding areas or whatever. It's not unsafe. Charles Jones, yeah, LeBlanc. I mean, if you're using U.S. dollars, obviously it's not going to be terrible, but when it comes to Brazilians, the cost of living for Brazilians, it's very expensive. Make Nick and DJP mods for your lives. Okay, I'm down. Don't forget to get your YouTube channel name up. Get it running. Big Mike. Do you plan on going to Colombia or other South American countries? I do. My goal is to do a lot of traveling in Brazil, and I plan on expanding my channel to be sort of just a regular travel channel. It's not going to be only based on Brazil, but my focus is Brazil because just there's so many places to get to know, and I really like the culture, and I just sort of I think it's better to show the country first before I start moving to other countries. But I will, and I might change my channel name to sort of be more oriented to travel. But yeah, it'll be expanded eventually. Okay. Oh, by the way, the cost of the umbrella and the chair was 30 reais. Even though it's low season here, it tends to be. There's no gringo price, I don't think here, except maybe in the summertime. So reasonably priced, less than $5 for the chair. With the water, it was an extra 5 reais. So, $1 for the water, $1. It's not bad. The Stork 2 says, anyone planning to go to Brazil, be extremely cautious with doormen in the building you will be staying at. Yeah, they're not really to be trusted. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll leave it at that. I did a video where I talked about that last year. Just always be cautious. Don't be paranoid, but just be on alert. Back Club Nick, I'm looking to moving to Petropolis if I stay in Rio long term. Petropolis, I'm gonna go visit probably next month, maybe, or when I get back to Brazil. When I get back to Rio, back home, I'm gonna go to Petropolis. I'm gonna visit around those historical cities. So I'll do some vlogs there. Yeah, Petropolis looks beautiful. It's like a imperial colonial city. Doorman can be linked to crooks. Yes. I wasn't going to elaborate, but they don't make all kinds of a lot of money. So it's just, I mean, they're pretty reliable, and a lot of them won't screw you over because then they don't want to risk losing their job and screwing over their life. So you know, Rio, yes, the doorman you have to be careful. Just be alert, just be aware. But in other cities like here, man, I met a cool doorman in Floripa. He was from the south of Brazil. He was a cool guy. Um, is there any Americans there, Nick? I did not see any other English-speaking tourists here. Not one. I did not hear at all. Mainly like Spanish-speaking or Brazilians from other parts of Brazil. That's about it. I'm sure they're here. I'm just not run into them. You know. So, yeah. In Floripa, yes, I did hear a couple speaking English. Big Mike, what's a good budget for a first timer in Rio for 2 weeks during the prime month? Prime month being summertime. Do Copa, but I would suggest booking very, very early. If you know the dates, like book well in advance. I would say 6 to 8 months in advance, even earlier if you can, because the prices get jacked up like crazy, man. I know DJP told me that he had to get out of the South Zone because it was just ridiculous. So he went to Central for a few days. Just using that as an example. So just book early as soon as possible. I don't know whether that influence. I'm sure you'll still get it cheaper, but yeah, I would budget. Not I'm including the Airbnb or wherever you're going to stay for 2 weeks. I budget like 3,000, but I don't think you'll need that much. I really don't. Depending on your lifestyle, if you like to drink a lot, eat a lot, yeah, you might spend that. Let's see here. I'm gonna end the live soon, guys. Probably like 1 hour. Racket Club, man, you all low key got me nervous about those doormen. Nah, just you know, it's just I don't know how to explain it, man. Just check out my video. I had a video where I talked about something that happened to me. It wasn't so much. There's a few. There's bad eggs, bad apples everywhere. So I don't know. They're just always looking to get ahead, in life, and they try to do that. No problems with doormen where I've been. Black Circle says, yeah, I had only that one issue, but in Santa Catarina, no issues. Just don't smile, right? The storekeeper says, just don't smile at them. Always remain with a mad, serious face in front of them. That could help. Yeah, just follow the rules and keep a serious face. Don't try to get too buddy. Like I speak Portuguese, and I started getting too buddy with where I was living at the apartment building. I don't live in the apartment building anymore. I moved outside of the city. So, but yeah, don't get buddy with them. If you can speak Portuguese, just do the compliment. Just compliment them. Say, hey, good morning, and that's it. Don't converse, and that's it. The store too. Nick, I lived in Rio for 8 years. I know the drill is not swagger. Yeah, okay. Then you know. I don't have to tell you. Big Mike, do the doorman get jealous when you bring the Brazilian women back to your Airbnb, home, or apartment? I don't know. Maybe some. Maybe they're like, oh, this guy's balling, lucky him. But I don't know. I didn't bring any girls back to the last apartment because I'm with a girl. So, yeah, maybe not. Let me just, before I end the live, I'll just show you. It's getting later here. Still some people on the beach. I'm in the middle of the beach, by the way, called Praia Central, which is the best spot to stay. They all pretty much have the like tents and whatever. You can get chairs and drinks or whatever. So yeah, DJP says a few of them do. Well, I mean, who wouldn't be, man? If you're bringing home like a beautiful girl or whatever. Jealousy hurts, man. Donnie Lee Gringo, which city? What do you mean? Like, where am I at? Or I don't know if you entered the chat later. for those of you who did enter the chat later, Balneário Camboriú, which is a city just north of Florianopolis, about an hour drive, and it's great. Most livable city in Brazil, I would have to say, like, it also depends on, but I would say infrastructure and finding jobs and things like that. I would say Floripa and maybe here, for sure. It's got the infrastructure, it's got the safety, you know, it's got the beauty, it's got really everything you need. You can leave out, go out of the city, and it's got other shit to do. You know. What is the most livable city? Yes, I read that one. Thanks. I thought it looked familiar. Yeah. Balneário. Nice place. Yeah, I'm only doing 3 days, Donnie D. Gringo. So whatever. I think it's enough considering that there's not a lot of movement here. But I liked it so far. I would come back. I would definitely come back and do the things that I didn't do and just whatnot. I will have some vlogs, quite a few vlogs from here, maybe 2 or 3 or something. DJP says, if you suspect a jealous doorman, grease him palm a little bit. Yeah, give him a little kickback. Maybe he'll just be like, yeah, I got your back. You know, because some Airbnbs don't even let you, right? And hotels, if you're bringing someone back, you got to check them in most cases. A lot of them will check. You got to show their ID, and so there's no like, you know, no secrecy there. You know, they know who you're bringing back. Okay. Donnie Lee Gringo. I lived last year in Florida. Last year for 4 months. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of nature. Not much to do in the downtown Floripa, but I'm gonna do a live tomorrow or Tuesday in Floripa. Still haven't decided whether it's gonna be in Centros where there's a lot of movement. Maybe it's better on a beach somewhere. I don't know yet. I'll decide. Like Big Mike said, asked, do Rio chicks mind if you bring them to Florianopolis? They will probably like the trip. Brandon, yeah, did you used to give some money every now and then? Yeah. Donnie Lee Gringo, I'm living in Sao Paulo this year, no beach. Yeah, if you go, you gotta leave the beach, you gotta leave the city, go south to like Guarulhos and those places, or Guarujá. They have some decent beaches there. I knew a guy that lived in Guarujá, just south of the city of Sao Paulo. Yeah, I think the Stork too. We have a guy who works in the airlines in here, so American Airlines. Okay. Any other questions? I'm gonna end the live now. Grab something to eat. Any questions about Balneário Camboriú? Definitely worth checking out, guys. I mean, I would say personally, if you're coming in the winter here, 4 to 7 days is okay. 4 is okay. If it's summertime, if you can afford it, you know, a week, especially if you want to relax and you're not a content creator like me. Donnie Lee Gringo says, I found an Airbnb apartment last year in Florida for 400, but this year higher. Mine was okay. I mean, here I'm paying about 145 reais, which is like what, 35 bucks American, I want to say, something like that. Not bad for night. It's probably double in the summer. You double it. That's my rule of thumb. Is double the price for high season. Oh, I said we have a guy in the chat who works for airline. I don't know if he's still Charles Jones. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but you can write a message or something. So I'm gonna end the live there, guys. Don't forget to like before on your way out. I really appreciate it. The Stork too. He was in the chat. But I really appreciate all of you guys participating in my first live ever on my channel. It was a lot of fun. More fun than I expected. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the last little time I have here in Balneário. Yeah, appreciate you. And we'll in the next live we'll be in Floripa. So I'll try to do like a hour live there or something. If you guys have any questions about Floripa, I'm gonna do also a video about my observations about Floripa and also about here. I don't know if I'm gonna combine the video, but yeah. So thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend on your Sunday, wherever you are. Peace, and all of you be well. Catch you later. Okay, I'll wait. I don't know what the question is, but I'll wait a second. I'm waiting to start too. While I'm waiting, I'll show you guys the beach. It really does have a amazing skyline. Yeah, I know. I'm letting Charles answer you. No worries. Ask the question again, Stork too. I don't think he read it. The other thing I'll mention, guys, before I end the video, I took the Ferris wheel. It's pretty cool. It's one of the things that I forgot to mention, but it's worth it. Stork too, just send me a message and I'll send him a message and then you can get the answer from me, okay? I'm just gonna end the live now. I'm dying of starvation. Peace out, guys. Yeah, big wheel's fun. Ciao.